Hi, I'm Jack Roberts, and this is Six Recording Studio, where I produce and mix songs for artists and create original music and sound effects for advertising projects. Today I'm going to be taking you through the new PHIE song called Game Over and some of the string arrangement that we put together for the chorus section. So I've got the production session open for Game Over. This one I did in Logic because I knew there was going to be a lot of MIDI parts that I had to work on, and I prefer to work in Logic when I have to do lots of MIDI stuff. So I'm going to play just a little bit of the last chorus here so you can get an idea of what the song sounds like.
Kiss me like you're dead in crystal, dancing under stars in a UFO light. Want me like you did on the first night.
So obviously the vocals, which are incredible, took a very prominent part in the final mix. So I'm going to mute those just so that we can focus in on these string sections. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of moving parts there, and that's kind of the idea, to think about each individual instrument or section and what they would be doing and how their part works with the rest of the orchestra, because real string sections don't just play all the same thing, all the same chord the whole time. But that is where I started. I wanted to just lay out the chordal structure for the chorus. You can hear there's just a little bit of a moving part in there, I think, in one of the violas, but I wanted to bring that out more, so I kind of mimicked that line in this cello part that I added next. And then after that, the next section I added was a viola staccato part to kind of just start to give it some movement and drive through the song. And then a counter melody in the violas too. Next I added a cello staccato part. And I definitely played all these parts because you can hear different velocity and some of the timing isn't perfect on everything. After that, I added a violin staccato part. This one's kind of small, so I'm going to play it on its own first. And now add the rest back in. So you can really start to hear it come together, the different parts moving and working with each other. And the last thing I added was one more additional counter rhythm, counter melody in the violin staccatos. Now when it gets to this part in the song, the chorus melody changes a little bit for the tagline, so I thought it needed an additional viola part that kind of worked with the cellos. First, I'm going to play them in the full mix. And now I'm going to play just the viola harmony here and this cello together because they really play off of each other. So they're really both kind of playing the chord parts, but just because of their little back and forth voice leading, it kind of just makes it more interesting. One of the other things I wanted to point out was that when I make these string parts, I'm using two different libraries in particular. I'm using the East-West Hollywood strings, but I always find myself adding Logic's stock strings to the mix as well because they have a different performance and it's a different sample and a different recording, so that different texture just makes the orchestra sound richer and more varied, which is something I was looking for on this mix. And that's pretty much how I put together the string section on this song. The big takeaways are to think about each section or each instrument as an individual part and play those one at a time so that you can create layers and call and response between the strings, and also to use different samples to give it a richer, more varied sound. For watching, and make sure to go save and download PHIE's new track, Game Over.